My advice to someone that wants to be a pro skater is just to keep challenging yourself, because a lot of people, their whole goal is to become professional, and once they reach that goal, they lose their motivation and they don't keep improving, and you see them just fall off. If you love skating, you love progressing, then the success will just come. It's not like you have to keep working at just being a professional or going to bigger events. You know, you just, if you have the talent, people will take notice and they'll finally give you support. Beyond all that, just keep coming up with challenges for yourself. You know, if you want to get better, just think of something you can do and how you can do it better, or think of something that maybe you wanted to try and suddenly you have more confidence, or you have more ability to try it, and go try it. For me, skating is my profession and it's my business, because I own a few companies. So when I'm not skating, I'm just trying to, you know, manage what goes on there as far as putting out quality products and having good imagery and good graphics and things like that. So, you know, I work on like shoe designs and clothing lines, clothing designs, clothing graphics, skateboards obviously. But my focus has just been to skate. So if all that stuff is getting too much for me, I just go out and skate and blow it off. I don't really have that many skateboards in my collection. Whenever I use a board, if it get wrecked, if my board gets wrecked, I just give it away. So I have a few keyboards that I enjoy. Like I have my very first skateboard. I have a board that I landed 900 on. I have my board that Evel Knievel signed. I think there's always been a distinct connection between music and skating. It seems like a lot of the punk movement was stemmed through skaters, and skaters were the first to really recognize it, and through the years it's been like the whole punk movement, a lot of hip-hop influence. I don't know, it just seems like skating has always been on the forefront of music. Like whatever is about to come in, skaters are on it, and then once it comes into style, they're onto something else. My dream skateboard?
Come up with anything.
I think the only thing that can really improve skateboards is to make something that's more indestructible and that keeps its rigidity, because wood is definitely works, but after a while it starts to get wrecked and it starts to get flexy, and we haven't found a material that replaces that. So hopefully there's some on the horizon, but it's really hard. It's really hard to figure out what's going to be next. I think some of the top skate bands in the past, well, definitely Devo. Seems like I grew up with Devo, and bands like 999 and Buzzcocks. I think as of recently, Pennywise, Jane's Addiction, Offspring. Those have all been really connected with skating. Beastie Boys. Beastie Boys have heavy skate influence, and you know, bands like that, hip hop, punk. Not too much pop. When I'm skating, I usually just come to the park almost every day and skate like 2 or 3 hours, just practice stuff that, you know, sometimes I'll just practice one trick the whole time, just trying to learn something new, or I'll just be working on stuff I already know and trying to get them bigger, better, just have more confidence in my skating. But there are days you go to the park, you go ramp, and it's like one trick for 2 hours just to make one, and then that's it. Made it, let's move on. My favorite places to skate are Encinitas YMCA, because it's close to my house, and I'm used to the ramp, and you know, I can pretty much go down there anytime during the day and skate. That was a weird experience doing the motion capture. It was really hard to get used to skating in the suit, first of all, and then these little balls have to be attached to every part of your body, including your skateboard, and they actually got in the way on my skateboard, and so every time I fell, at least 3 balls were coming off and getting destroyed, and they were telling me they were like $150 each. So I tried not to fall as much. I've had my share of injuries, but not as many as people assume. You know, people think that you break every bone and you're always in the hospital, and it's not like that. I mean, I've only broken one bone officially. I broke my elbow about 3 years ago, Friday the 13th. Other than that, I just, you know, some ankle sprains. I've had a few concussions. I've had plenty of stitches on my shin. So, but it's not like every day you're coming home stitched up or you know, waking up in an ambulance. My dad was always really supportive of me skating. He's been supportive of whatever his kids were into. So when I started skating, he would drive me to the park. He would drive me to all the competitions around Southern California, and eventually he formed a skate association that was putting on events because there was no one doing it at the time, and he felt like there was a need, and there definitely was. And he started NSA, and then the NSA went strong for about 10 years and became the World Cup Skate Association after he left. Yeah, he stood behind me the whole way. I started earning a living when I was about 17 or 18, so they realized it then. I mean, I bought my first house before I graduated high school, so they said, oh, I guess you do have a career. So it wasn't really like I had already graduated high school and I was looking for something to do, and they were trying to, they were bugging me about getting a job. I already really had a job, and I was doing well, and I got to travel the world. I had a lot of opportunities at a young age that I was thankful for. Well, for me, my best skating achievement was landing a 900 after trying it for like off and on for like 6 or 7 years. I fractured a rib and threw on my back, and just came up as a failure so many times trying it over the years that I really didn't think I was going to ever make it. And I finally made one at the 1999 X Games during the best trick event, and that was huge for me. I mean, I think if I hadn't been doing it at an event of that scale, I probably wouldn't have been that motivated to do it. But there it was like, if I'm going to be taken out on a stretcher, it might as well be there. So I was going for it. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was originally conceived when I really wanted to help do a video game. I mean, I knew I wouldn't do the program or anything, but I wanted to be an advisor, basically. And just coincidentally, I got 3 different offers to do video games, and Activision seemed like they had the best team and they had the best direction. They were going to dive into skating full on, and so I signed up with them. They already had a prototype working, and the guys who were working on it were actual skaters, so at least they understood, the dynamics and the physics and the importance of keeping it real, and keeping skating's integrity in it instead of just, doing all these cheesy things. Once I got involved, I would just play it every step of the way and tell them what tricks we should include, the locations, providing reference material for the skaters, for the tricks. The Tony Hawk Foundation is based on children's charities. We give money to different pediatric foundations and Make-A-Wish, and we're starting to work on getting funding for skate parks in places that don't have them, or like inner cities, boys and girls clubs, places that maybe can't come up with the funding but might have the space to do it and are willing to make a skate park. So we're going to make donations to those places to get a small skate park going and try to get them equipment, skateboards, helmets, pads, things like that. I've been all over the world skating, all over Europe, Japan, Australia, Brazil, obviously the US, Canada, South America. I haven't officially been to China. I went to Taipei, but it was before they were Republic of China.